Well, hey, y'all. Welcome back. We're having a good old time. Nothing traumatic happening around here. I don't know if y'all called last week, but it was kind of messed up. But I'm sure that everything is going to be fine now. There's a couple episodes left, and it'll just be like rainbows and sunshine. Isn't that right, Kevin?
Yeah, sure, Marty. Nothing but rainbows and sunshine from here on out.
Somebody's going to paint it black.
Wow, Marty's been to some weird worlds lately. Speaking of weird worlds, this one, right off the top, has got 2 episodes of actual gameplay left in it. But we'll get to that in a minute because I completely forgot. I got to do the technical and correct stuff first. So let's talk about this wonderful channel that we're on and all the stuff that it does when it's not doing this. Sundays and Mondays, we have got, once we get back into July, and Puck gets back from the Feywild, we will be resuming regular service on Sundays and Mondays, and it will be Mercs of Mischief and Too Many Warlocks. I was going to say as regular, but no. There is nothing about the episodes when we come back that is going to be anything remotely like regular, so check those out for sure. Between now and then, though, on Thursdays, we have Avalon Society London Fall, presented by Dead Aussie Gamer. Check the schedule in Twitch to figure out exactly when it is where you are. It takes place in the Malifaux universes. Universes? It's just the one. And uses the Through the Breach system. Guy from How to Be a Great GM, Myri from Orkenspalter TV, Till from Dungeon Fog, Janet from World Anvil, Anthony, also known as Vegemite Dangerous from Roll for Damage, and their Fate Master, Michael, the Dead Aussie Gamer himself, put on an amazing show and are telling a really cool story. Other stuff we have, other locations, YouTube. We have our Hero Factories coming out. We got another one coming out tomorrow. Somebody quick jump in and tell me who's tomorrow.
It's CJ with Don't Stop Thinking. He was
excellent.
Come over and hang out a little while ago. And yeah, that'll be out tomorrow. And then he'll be here next week for Skylar's Table Flip.
Oh, yeah, we're getting to that. Also on YouTube, you can catch all the back episodes from all the Mercs of Mischief shows. They're all over there in wonderfully tabulated formats. Big thank you to Tabletop Audio and Audionautics for the sound effects and music that we use on this and all of our other shows. It's all royalty free, and being where we are on the current business curve, royalty free is really nice because we could no way afford to pay for the music. So one more thank you, and that is to Thunderscape7 for our character art here tonight. Oh, I almost forgot to thank the most important people, the ones that are actually over there in that column on the side, our fans and our viewers. You guys have been amazing. The bits, the Patreon page where you guys can go to join us and get special stuff. All of this is wonderful. You can get postcards in the mail, monthly games with Puck once he's back. Subscribing, if you have Twitch Prime, remember you get one free subscription per month, and we'd really appreciate it if you used it on us. We could really, it always helps. Every bit helps. Speaking of every bit helps, every follow, every sub on YouTube, they all help. Every watch helps. Every minute you watch us makes us more successful. That is the key feature, is getting minutes under our belts. So keep us going by continuing to do that. With that, I think we got a couple of announcements for events, but maybe we'll just save those for halftime and work that all in together then. Why don't we, Marty, if you would be so kind as to roll that train for the second to last time.
And now, let's go down a new rabbit hole where we find our Poison Paradise Party, Hollywood bound.
other than Major League Baseball. I don't know why I knew that.
You wouldn't believe the unbelievably useless trivia that banters back and forth while we wait for you guys to watch that intro every week. I'm going to miss that a lot. But what I'll bet you these guys are probably not going to miss is like what happened last week, where they got dragged through their own minds, their own self-doubt, their own fear, in an attempt to weaken them before their final, inevitable upcoming confrontation. But after dealing with that and flying away, you guys find yourself in this sort of moment of peace. And the ship, Alice, I'm assuming you're steering, you just sort of turned into the wind and set the propellers just right. And you just sort of hover with this rainbow tinted mist blowing across you coming in from the ocean. And you look around at each other and realize it's only been 6 weeks. Some of you even less than that. And that includes the train trip. You think about what's been crammed into that 6 weeks and all those moments that something needed to be said, but there was no time. There was never any time. But now, there is. Because what's up ahead of you is as inevitable as tomorrow's sunrise. But right here, right now, in this silver mist, it's almost like for once in your favor, time has stopped. And there's this moment where you all feel the pressure come off. Just enough to think. And I'm sure that there's lots that needs to be said. So I'll just leave it with you. Who wants to start the first conversation?
Nobody says nothing. That's just it.
3 hours of silence.
Yeah.
Awkwardly sitting
Our
on the
grad
boat.
school piece.
Just like, do. Anybody got a harmonica?
Oh, there's some inspiration. BJ, thank you for the 100 bits of inspiration. BJ, who has to start?
Don't do that.
You have until he answers
Don't-
for somebody to start
Don't put that on
spontaneously.
Brayden. Oh, no, that's why I said don't put on Brayden, because I knew. So Alice just, I mean, I don't know, because it's kind of a weird thing. Like, this all started really because she went west for a story and she found a little nightmare cowboy. And
Really? How you're gonna sum me up?
I mean, you know, that's what it was then, though. And so Alice just kind of like, she's kind of waves Jet over, like to the wheel, because I assume I can't leave the wheel. And
Yeah.
she's like, so this is, I mean, we're either gonna die or this is the end.
I mean, yeah, those are two things that can happen. I'd like to think there's more. You know.
I don't know. I'm kind of. I have some things I need to take care of. And she just like takes a long breath and she pulls out the telegram from her dad from all those weeks ago that she's never shared with anybody, saying that he's ruined the family money. And she pulls it out and she hands it to Jet. And it's like, it's written out. So you don't have to like transcribe a telegram or anything. It's written out like what it says.
And yeah, he'll pull it out and read through it real quick. I see.
She says, yeah. So I need to go home and say my piece. And then I need to go find him. And she says, you know, Mr. Comfort went to London. And I think I might need to go there too. And you would have heard her talk about, even if not by name, Chessie, she would have talked about like her childhood best friend.
Yeah.
She says I think he went back home, and so I think I got an airship, so maybe I'll just go over there myself.
Yeah. It don't sound like too bad of an idea. I mean, I've never been that far east before, but you know. And he'll kind of rifle through his pockets and he'll pull out like 3 or 4 documents and just a wad of cash, and it's all like rolled together. And he'll pull a little bit out, but then he's going to hand the rest to her, and he's going to be like, I don't know where I'm going after this. I'm still trying to figure that out, but all I know is they sure as hell don't need money where I'm going. So you might as well use it to do something good.
In a weird turn of events, she won't take it. She says, look, I'm fine for now. I've got a favor I can call in when I go back through Dodge. But you keep that in case you need to buy some more Big Daddies.
I don't think you can buy these. And I'll weigh that last one in my hand, and I'll be like, can you not have that so close to the mechanisms and all that? So even that somewhere back there. It's going to be bad no matter where it is if it goes off.
And so she says, just save it. You never know. I have plenty, and honestly, I mean, as a female with photography skills and the men in this world, I can pretty much manipulate to get whatever I need from most anybody.
And there's just this concerned, yeah.
She said, and she looks at him and she says, "You can't con a good man."
You know, I'd like to think I'm a good man, and there have been a couple of times. But I see what you're going for. Just be careful. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about what you do, but it seems that you've opened the door into the world of and he's trying to avoid that word, and he'll just kind of be like, the metaphysical.
Yeah, and I've seen a version of what I could have been in this world, and I can never be that. So I need to go be something that's good, but different.
Yes, ma'am. As long as we can be something good, then I think it's all right.
And then she will, she's gonna reach into her pocket, or in her bag. She'll ask him to like take over the ship, and she has a little bag that she doesn't carry with her, but that's on the ship, and she'll go get it. And she's gonna give Jet 3 dynamite sticks.
Oh.
And she says, I think that you might be able to do some good with these, with what's happening in the next couple of days.
You know I know how to raise hell.
That might literally happen. It already did once. I don't know what in the world.
Yeah. So I've already told you, I'm with relative certainty sure that I'll be okay in the end of all this. It's a heavy gamble, but I've got pretty good experience so far. But on the off chance that I'm not, will you please make sure, and he just kind of nods over toward Ellie, and he'll just be like, you know, she reminds me of my brother.
And Al says, you know, actually, says, I was thinking about, at the end of all this, I was thinking about asking her to come with me, but that's a conversation for after everything's resolved.
Did Ellie share with us that her brother was in London, or was that a specific conversation with one person?
I told you.
Oh, shit. Now I get to make a decision.
I know stuff.
Yeah. That might not be that bad of an idea for more reasons than one, but that ain't my conversation to have.
I don't know what the hell that means, but
You'll see.
my reason is simply that she's trying to figure out who she is, and she's got nothing but bad memories here, just like I do. Maybe she can go make some good ones.
Now, hey, I mean, not even 2 days ago, I'd say she proved she has some good memories here. We all do. It ain't all bad.
I don't know if I'd consider barely saving your friend's life in just the nick of time after he fell out of a flying boat the best circumstance to have a memory in, but
Oh, yeah.
there have been good times.
If she ain't around, I'll just kind of look at himself. I guess I need to start taking better care of myself.
You need to get out of this dude that don't like you's place is what you need to do.
That's right. We got to make sure Lucius can shoot something. That's kind of important.
Yeah. Not my boat. And like as I assume he goes to walk away to do it, she's like, not my boat.
Yep, no, not the boat.
And then Alice just kind of flies the ship, just pretty much in silence for a while.
Anybody else doing anything during this? I don't want to just hop.
Ellie's just
muted.
sitting on the boat, flipping through her cards. She's not talking to anybody at the moment, but
Right now, I'm just writing furiously about some things right now, and he'll be ready to talk to some people in a bit. So, unless
So, in that case, I guess, there's that pause. Jet, you look around. Who do you need to talk to?
I mean, it at that point it has to either be Lucius or Ellie. I guess, does Lucius specifically look like he's not like talking to anybody? Like he is like engrossed in what he's doing?
He is, but like he's just trying to write something down quickly, some stuff.
I guess I'll leave him to that then, and I'll go plop down next to Ellie on the edge. And I'll, if she's flipping through her deck, he'll just be like, it's coming awful handy, that, especially recently.
Yeah, I didn't like how violent my uncle got in the end, but I found there's more ways to use a deck of cards than to hurt someone. Sometimes it can be what saves them, I guess. Can make people happy.
Yeah, I'd go so far as to say it can be whatever you need it to be.
It's kind of what I'm figuring out. I don't quite have a grasp on it. I'm not gonna say I'm some master huckster, but I did have quite a good shot sometimes.
Yeah, I'm mighty proud of you, friend. It's been a hell of a road so far, and I just wanted to thank you because for one moment recently, I had a moment of clarity and remembered that had you not been around, I might very well be a stain on the, well, I guess it wouldn't be pavement, but I might not be here. So thank you.
That would have been a real loss on the world, Jet.
Uncomfy. Miss Alice might be going to London after all this is said and done.
Interesting.
I don't know if you have any interest, but she might have. If you had a conversation with her, she might be happy to have another person along. I know that you might have family out there, the good kind.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she wants company, but I think it's a start. I don't have any other family somewhere.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you thinking of getting up to after?
To be completely honest with you, my friend, I think I may just kind of disappear for a while. I think I'm going to go learn some things, figure out some things, because I've only just now opened a door to a whole other world that I don't think I can ever really walk away from in more ways than one. And I'm happy to do it, but I don't know. It may be one of those things that I kind of have to go off and do on my own. You know what I mean? So.
I think a couple weeks ago I wouldn't have understood, but I think I do now. And she's gonna draw a card from her deck, and she's just gonna hold it for a second, and she's gonna slip it in his pocket, and she's gonna say, I've been in that world sometimes, and granted, I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I think I know when you're there, when you're ready to come back, you'll be able to find me using that. Find your way back. When you're ready.
It's nice to know I've always got an ace up my sleeve. I'll hand her. I'll hold it in my hand, and I'll be like, I tried to give this to Miss Alice. It's a bundle of documents and money, and I was like, because honestly, I think she might be. She might. I don't know. Y'all have a lot to talk about on the way over if y'all end up going over there. But the point being, she doesn't want it, and you were the second person I thought that. I don't think you need it. You seem very well off. You make your own money, but I literally have no use for it, and I'd rather someone invested in something they believe in. So please, as a friend, take this and put it towards whatever you want to do. You know, I have no use for it. Maybe hold it till I come back if you really don't want to use it.
She'll take it and she'll just say, as a friend, but just promise me if you find out you do need it, don't do something that'll get you shot to get the money.
I mean, I don't like getting shot, contrary to popular belief. It ain't fun. But yeah, I'll do my best. I don't think I'm gonna and there's just this, like, he doesn't even look. I don't think I'm gonna need this anymore. And he pulls off his paradise badge, and he just kind of holds it over the edge, and he just kind of looks at it in the light one last time. I always believe in good, but there's a lot of things that this badge represents that I just don't think I believe in anymore. And there's a slight look at, like, over towards Baptiste, just like a flick of the eyes, and he'll hold it, and just very slowly, like, it's not a quick toss, it's just a turn, and he'll just drop it off the edge into the ocean.
You watch it tumble down into the mist, and you see the weirdest damn thing, because it starts to come back up again. It's different, though. You reach out your hand and you grab it, and you turn it, and it doesn't say Deputy Paradise City. It says Sheriff. It's not the badge you dropped. This is the badge of the man who was so nice to you in the city that may or may not have existed.
And there's just a look over at Ellie, just like, God.
Put it on, son, you hear?
One last time. And yeah, he'll fasten it on, and it's just like that sigh of, like, one last time.
As you click that pin, you remember him walking down the middle of the street in that gunfight. Just pure confidence, just blowing them away to the left and the right without even looking.
Is that Alice back there stabbing a man in the throat?
Yeah, it might just be.
Yep. And yeah, I'll wrap that up with just a clap on the shoulder to Ellie and just be like, you're probably the closest thing I have to family out here. You know that, right? Your silence tells all.
Oh, sorry, my internet froze for a moment.
Oh, I
did not
thought
hear
you were acting the hell out of that. No, did you not hear his last? Oh man, you got to say that again, Sky.
No, I didn't. I heard everything up until the last thing you said.
Oh, I just
that was
said,
kind of the important bit.
I clapped you on the shoulder, and I was like, you're probably the closest thing I have to family out here, you know?
You're probably the closest thing I've had to a sibling. My brother it's spending time with you has made me realize he wasn't a brother, he was a kid. He was my kid. But it's nice to have someone who's on your level, who is capable of caring about you just as much as you care about them.
Oh no. Oh no. Internet issues. Shit. Okay.
She's just like, I'm tired now. And she passes out.
Yeah. Well, let's put that one on the back burner for a second. I was going to just continue the chain. Oh. Maybe coming back? Maybe not.
Maybe.
Okay. I was just going to continue the chain and have her go to who she wanted to go to next, but just because of that, I nominate Lucius. You have written as much as you can write. You've avoided as much as you can avoid.
Because the person
Turn
needed to
around and
talk.
see this boat full of people. At least one of them you need to talk to.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Who do you
there's
go
two,
to
but
first? Yeah, who
there's
do you
two,
go to
but
first?
one's
One
out
at a
of
time.
commission.
Yeah,
Well,
one at a
let's
time.
start-
Who do you go to?
I'm gonna go to Baptiste.
Okay. We'll get back to you in just a minute, LD. We just jumped one little bit.
So I go up to Baptiste and
Yeah, he's actually been for the last 20 minutes or so. He's been next to, off to the side towards the back of the boat. There's the fire that roars up to help keep the ship up. And there's actually, you've never seen him do anything like this before. There's a big pot, and as you get closer, it's like it's a big ass thing of chili. And he's making it, and he's kind of humming to himself. He's not really paying attention, but yeah, that's what he's doing.
this is a different side of you.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, hey, well, hey there, Lucius. Yeah, sorry, you caught me a little unawares. How's that new piece of iron working out for you?"
It's heavy.
They always are, Lucius. They always are.
Never want exactly why I never wanted to pick up one, but knowing now what I have to do with it, it's even heavier. But I'm glad I have a friend like you to teach me a few things so I don't blow my goddamn head off.
Oh, to be fair, you're more likely to shoot yourself in the thigh during the quick draw.
True.
Ask you a difficult question.
Shoot. Not literally.
Well, you just said now that you know you have to do something with it. I mean, what the hell did you think we were coming out here for? Did you just assume Jed or I were going to do it for you? I'm not passing judgment. I'm just curious if you figured you weren't going to have to get your hands dirty.
Wasn't that. I was expected to die, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, well, now I feel bad.
Now it's 50-50.
Not bad odds, all
Wow.
things considered.
Speaking of which, do you remember what we talked about in that mansion? After the journey, perhaps I could help you with your mission, perhaps. Perhaps
Yeah.
just tag along.
I think that that might be real nice, actually. considering everything that's happened, I've been ruminating on my younger years, younger than I am even now. I think once we're done here, if there's anywhere to go, and if I'm alive to do it, I might head down to El Paso, tie up some loose ends.
So, well, I remember you gave me, you gave, what was that promise you gave to me? That one when I was at my aunt's house. Do you remember that?
Well, I'm fairly certain that I promised to kill Father Grimm for you if you needed me to.
Well,
But it is if you need me to.
that's
Or
fine.
you're not able to, or if you fail, if he gets you first, I'll avenge you.
50-50. Well, I want to make a counter proposal to that. If I survive, and if you take the fall, by whatever means, I would be, if you don't mind, if you give me the honor to bury you. I know that might sound strange, but it's my profession, and it's something I enjoy. I've heard of legends of yourself where they would, two-bit undertakers would take legends like yourself, and they would just put the body on display for $2. I promise you, I will not allow that to happen to you.
He leans in real close and he says, if you put me on display for anything less than $5 a piece, I will come back and haunt your ass from here until judgment.
Yeah, he's already been arrowed once.
He says that and leans back, and his countenance actually gets kind of dark, and he says, Lucius, if I fall in this, you don't. You do your rights. But if I'm honest with you, I'm fairly certain that if I die, I'm going to come back as something you and everyone else here needs to be very, very far away from. So you promise me that if I don't make it, you don't let any of them try to save me.
Promise. Well, we'll see, right?
Hey, why don't you go get all the rest of them? I'm sure the Miss Alice can put a loop or a belt or something on that rig. Chili's almost done.
I'll bring them over. You got it. Next, I will go to Jet.
So yeah, I probably just wrapped up with Ellie and stood up, and then I saw him walking toward me, I guess.
You see the sheriff's badge from Paradise pinned to his chest.
Oh, that's nice. I think it suits you.
Thanks. To be honest, I was trying to get rid of it, but it seems it ain't quite done with me yet, so...
You know, when life gives you A badge, you take it. In my case, it's a gun, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, you confident? I mean, we still got plenty of time to work on your shooting, and
No, I'm not, but I think somehow it's going to work out.
you're from around these parts, right? Not here, but like where we came from,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to explain something, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But
Fair.
I don't know nothing about that scorpion in your pocket, or the greater being which manifests it. But he's kind of an asshole to me. But he seems to like you, and all I can say is, for me, whenever I needed help from Raven, I just always thought of her, and I thought about the things that surrounded her, be it the woods, be it the wind, be it whatever it may be. And she always seemed to be there. I could always feel it. I could always count on it. And it's not just them. Being connected to them can teach you things about that world that you can do even without them. It's hard to explain. I barely understand it myself. I hope to learn more, but I hope maybe that information will help a little bit, because that gun ain't just a piece of metal. That's something, and I watch it drip probably out of the holster. That's something completely different.
In fact, as you look down to see it, you can see that the holster itself is now starting to change. There's an image. It was nice. He was a classy dude. He has, he didn't have a holster at all. Never mind. The belt that it's tucked into, it's starting to spread on the belt. Oh, you gave him one. Yes. Okay, so he does have one.
Gave him one.
So yes, what was one of Baptiste's holsters, which I'm assuming was probably some sort of combination between very practical but very nicely worked.
It was, yeah. Quality.
It is starting to develop an image on it that is mostly scales, and you can see now already the curl of the tail and a couple of back legs. It's growing the holster to match itself.
And there's just like this.
You look down to see what he's looking at, and there it is.
It's funny. Us folks from California who know the tail of the scorpion, Edward, my best friend, was always obsessed with the scorpion. That's how I made him that silver pistol with the scorpion. He was obsessed with that tail. I didn't think of anything about it. And against all odds, it's like a full circle. If I ever meet this guy, Scorpion, I want to ask him why. Why does he want me to do this? Why did he give me this gun?
Lucius, if you kill that man with that gun, you will be bonded to him. I've been wondering whether or not I should tell you, but I sure as hell can't let you do it without you knowing the ramifications. So I don't understand completely how it works. I have a bad feeling that when your time comes at the end of it all, it may get a little more complicated than just what we think of what happens when you die. And that's all I know. So if you do it, know what you're doing. I mean, you're welcome to try to talk to him. I don't know what kind of relationship y'all have, but you should be able to if you try hard enough.
Well, he's never talked to me. He seems to talk to you and Ellie.
He hates me. He kind of wants to kill me. So if you could, tell him not to, that'd be cool. But
but what do they say about love and hate? They're two sides of the same coin. I'm joking, of course.
yeah, I don't know. I hope it works out for you. Either way, but if you don't do it, I wouldn't hold it against you.
Oh. There's one thing I want to just talk to you about on Fort 51, by the way. And thank you for telling me that. That gives me something to think about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I tried to punch you. I feel bad about that. But I couldn't even land a goddamn punch, okay? And, God, I'm sorry, okay? I just got to realize you're Jet, and you're going to do what you do best. So I don't want you to ever fucking change, man. Okay? If you could do me just one favor. If this goes south, if I become something I'm not proud of, I expect you to put a goddamn bullet on my head. You hear me?
I think a crow would eat a scorpion pretty quick, so I'll make sure to put you down if it ever comes to it.
Thank you. I know Baptiste will have that covered, but he might be a little bit busy with Alice, so just in case. Second pair of eyes don't hurt.
I plan on learning a lot more about all this, and he just gestures generally after all this is said and done, so if I find something out that I believe you should know, you'll be the first to know.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Against all odds, you came here, and I can't thank you enough.
You've been there for me a lot more than you give yourself credit for, Lucius. I would have been dead a few times over had you not been around. Saying that to a lot of people lately.
Oh, just remember, don't tempt fate.
And there's just this hand on the shoulder. It's like you know why.
Yeah. Hey, Baptiste is making some chili. Why don't you go get some? He's that way.
Chili the day before a fight, man. We really are testing fate. But sure, why the hell not?
I was just about to say her connection seems to be fairly stable, and then she disappeared because Northern Alberta apparently runs their internet through a piece of chicken wire.
They do.
You're back again. Okay. Very quickly, before you disappear again, is there anyone that you would like to speak to?
Well, she probably should go up to Miss Alice.
Okay.
And she's just gonna say, that was pretty risky letting Jet fly for a couple minutes there.
Well, he's done it a couple of times, and what we're about to do is pretty risky anyway, so.
Yeah, and he didn't kill any of us, so.
No, we were fine. We're just kind of going in a straight line at this point, so.
Jet mentioned you were thinking of going to England after all this.
Yeah, I need to make a stop through Dodge and then home and get a few things, and then and she pulls out the telegram and also shows it to Ellie, and she says, it's I've been broke for about 5 weeks now, or at least the family money has been broke for about 5 weeks now. I still have what I came with, and I still have a few connections outside of that, but yeah, my dad has messed everything up, and Mom's not there, and I don't really have anything there for me, so I'm gonna stop through Dodge, meet up with a connection, and go home and tell him what an idiot he is for ruining the business yet again. The first time this happened, Mom was still around and she was able to fix it. She's not there this time to pull him out of his messes. So, and then Mr. Comfort went to London, and I think it's also, well, it's where Chessie's from, and there's a chance that he went back there. You know, old haunts never escape.
Seems to be that way. Well, I'm sure if anybody could set him straight, it would be you.
Yeah, potentially. He's I have some apologizing to do. And she says, you know, I was thinking about, unless anybody wants it, taking this ship if it survives all this and going. And she said, I know you have some bad history here, and if you'd like to come along and maybe get out and explore and figure out who you are in a different setting, I'd love to have you. No pressure.
I think I would like nothing more.
And she will, Alice being Alice, would have I don't know, did she freeze? I think
so, but you can keep going.
So Alice being Alice would have pre-drawn out, because this is her plan. She would have pre-drawn out a ticket stub for Ellie, and it's like a trip to London aboard the Miriam, and it's like got Ellie's name on it, and it's like a train ticket basically, but Alice has like written out a ticket for this, and she hands it to Ellie.
I love it because I just put in chat a minute ago, you show up in the balloon in London as Juliet Verne.
Right, yeah. It may not survive all this, and we'll just go on a boat, but yeah, so she does that, and gives that to her. And I like to think at this point that she kind of turns around and she says, do I smell chili?
Is that chili? Yeah.
Walk over.
So I believe, Ellie, the only thing you missed is she gave you a hand-drawn ticket on the Miriam.
I had already pre-drawn a plane ticket.
It was already done, yeah. So you have the first plane ticket in history.
Perfect. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's just you're on the list in case anybody.
Yeah. Well, I think that also, from what I've heard about your friend Chessie, I could maybe learn a thing or two.
Yeah, he is. If I can find him, he is the one that could teach you everything you need to know about those cards. Now, like I said, I smell chili, and I want to know who on this thing is cooking some chili.
Who's making chili? Speaking of chili, the only one that we haven't asked yet is who would Baptiste like to go and talk to or call over to the fire while he's cooking the chili?
Well, a couple of things, probably this afternoon, this evening. Yep. But the first thing that happens is, so right about the time where I would like to narratively imagine Miss Alice sort of.
Yeah.
What? Because behind her, where the fire billows up, is where this big pot is, and Baptiste is actually he's found a triangle. He's
yep, you did. Yes,
he's traveled a lot, and he finds a triangle, and he starts clanging it, and he's got a smile, and he's pulled some boxes and crates and has made basically a little circle around, and I would like to imagine everybody comes over. He's humming. It's not like you know what, I don't know how your characters take it, but it's a little more playful than you've seen him, but it's a low and slow sort of humming that he does, and gives everybody a bowl full of chili, and it's the chili, like there's no, if you notice anything about the chili, I don't know how many culinary fans are in the audience. There's no tomatoes in it. There's no beans. It's vegetables and it's beef, and that's about it. And if anybody does know, that is the way that Texas chili is made.
Yes.
And so he gives everybody a bowl of that, and he sort of sits down and he's humming, and he opens his mouth to start to say something, and he stops, and he gives Jet and Miss Alice sort of a very sad smile, and then he gives Lucius and Hannah a smile as best as he can.
Yeah.
He's still not a happy guy. And he actually takes off his black preacher's hat that he's worn the whole time you've known him, and he throws it off the side of the boat. And he reaches into a bag behind him.
Oh, shit.
Puts on a white hat. But he actually, there's a bit of a silence, and you hear him start humming again. And just so you all realize, I'm going to put something up in front of the screen so I don't have to watch myself do this. And you hear, "To the town of Awafria rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip, for the stranger here among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slow looking all around. He's an outlaw, loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with that big iron on his hip, a big iron on his hip. In the town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and those many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol, number 1 in 19 more. 1 in 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. He's an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. And he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the Ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not cleared leather when a bullet fairly ripped, and the Ranger's aim was deadly with a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment, and the folks all gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have gone on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip.
Thank you. I hold
Don't
you
let that
to
get cold.
Ryan, I hold you to a much higher standard than I hold the rest of them to because of who you are and what you do. But I would like you to take a legend chip for that.
Like, I just want to say, halfway through, Alice is just like, with the hat and the song, Alice just goes like this, and she just pulls a pack of cigarettes out, and she's like, she starts packing it, she's like, she packs it, and she's smoking by the time it's through, and she just comes over. She moves, like, I don't know where she was sitting, but if she wasn't sitting next to Baptiste, she moves her box next to his box, and just like one tear, and she just kind of puts her hand on his, and then just awkwardly balances her chili bowl in her lap and eats with the other hand.
Yeah.
I would have chimed in an accompaniment on a harmonica halfway through.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
Love it.
Whew.
And then after a moment, Alice says, well, 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 the cowboy can cook and sing too.
I have one question and one comment before we make a step here. The question is Baptiste still wearing the stole? Or did that come off too?
No,
Okay.
the stole stays on, but he symbolically meta 2020s puts on a white hat.
Yep.
That's
Now
my
about
paladin
that hat. Yeah, about that white paladin hat. Miss Alice, maybe it's the tear in your eye, but when you look up, it's not just a white hat. For just a split second, there's a halo. And for the first time in
That's just the
I don't know
green
how
screen
long.
acting funny.
Yeah. I don't know. And the first time in I don't know how long, Rebecca steps out from behind the mast, because she does that thing where she just steps out from behind the mast, and she is radiant. She is white, like the sun off the whitecaps on a brilliant day. Her mane is blowing in the wind, and she just comes up behind Baptiste and snuggles the back of his neck. Just nuzzles him. Just... And there's something about the two of them. It gives you hope. All of you see it, except him, of course. And while you eat your chili and contemplate that, I think we'll take our break. And we'll come back in 20 minutes.
15
minutes now. Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, we don't need no 20 minutes. Whew, I'll wipe my face quicker than I was planning to. You guys, holy shit, this is only the second to last episode. Oh, how are we going to get through this? Okay.
We'll shoot stuff next week.
That was, just shoot the hell out of everything next week. I will, just before we step away to the break here, thank every one of you for that. To quote Puck, I am a very lucky DM. There's not many people out there who can just say to their table, go, and then just sit back for an hour plus and watch them play. So thank you all for that, and we'll keep it up in another 15 minutes. Thank you. We'll see you after the break.
We'll be back in 15 minutes with Act 2 of Oklahoma. All right. Got that everybody dry your eyes and hit the facilities, because you're not going to want to get up. I got a feeling things are going to get a little bit more tense before they lighten up. Would you say that's the case there, Marshal Kevin?
Yes, it does tend to go in that general direction. Oh, wow.
I just realized wine glass and cowboy hat doesn't really match.
That's not a traditional combination, but you're not a traditional cowboy. That's fair enough. Before we go back down our little rabbit hole to our little boat in the little sky, we get to talk about these wonderful people that are here telling stories with me today and what they do when they're not here telling stories with us here on the Mercs O Mischief channel. Let's just go around and start that big white hat bobbing in the wind. Ryan, tell us about Roll for Initiative.
Yeah, I am half of Roll for Initiative on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. R4I Vlog on Twitter. Today we just put out a painting tutorial. We built a mini from Hero Forge, which everybody that watches this channel knows well about, and it is probably one of the most fun we've ever had building a mini. And Dawn paints it up. And if you're curious about how to wet blend or do stippling texture, you've got to check that one out. It is a modern day French frog person NPC. It's so much fun. Throw it on and watch it, or throw it on during a lunch break. You got to check that video out.
I watched that whole video talking to the screen like Guy. Say, oh, mon ami, you are magnifique.
I don't remember what it was, but we saved the file name on the website, the French word for frog. So
Well, I am French Canadian, so I appreciated the humor immediately, and the mustache, I must say, it's a magnificent touch. A frog with a mustache, every frog should have a mustache. Kermit missed the boat on that one. Next, YouTubes. Who wants to tell us about the? Oh, I know. Wait a minute. Sarah, you tell us about YouTube, because we got something else to talk about with this guy.
Hey, me, Sarah. I do things and stuff. It's me, the production manager here at the Mercenaries of Mischief, and we've got the YouTube channel. So any old episodes, especially now this one is coming to an end, any old episodes that you want to catch up on, you can check it all out over there. And we have our YouTube only edited series, that Hero Factory Season 2 starting tomorrow, and that is going to feature CJ from Don't Stop Thinking, and his other channel, Cool History Bros, where you can learn about really random history stuff that he animates really well, and it's really cool. So check that out. And then where else can we find CJ next week, Skylar?
Oh, nice segue. Taking my
what
job
we're gonna
now.
talk about? Is this really what
Yeah, we're gonna talk
going
about this now. Next
we're all
Monday.
excited, just like you are. We're excited.
I'm excited. I'm anxious, but I'm excited. Let's be honest here.
So what are you doing?
Table flip next week. It's gonna be me and 4 experienced DMs. We've got Steph, we've got CJ, we've got Lonnie, we've got Ryan, we've got a little bit of everybody here, and we are going to be running the Lost Lab of Qualish, which is a Wizards of the Coast official module. It's not super well known, but I am super excited because it gets weird. So tune in next week for that. And oh wow, I'm sure everybody can relate. I don't know what day it is. It's Tuesday, which means it's next Monday, right?
It's six days from today. You have 6 days to get ready for that.
I can learn to use Roll20 in 6 days.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not like there's 4 experienced, professional, highly trained, highly experienced DMs sitting across the table from you, each of them bringing their own audience to watch you. I mean, there's nothing along those lines at all.
Yep, I'm fine.
Okay, well, while he breathes into a paper bag, the next 2 Sundays, I guess it's my turn. The next 2 Sundays, I get to do a 2-shot with my very own gaming system that I have invented. So come and see if it works. It is some time-traveling adventurers, and I have the great pleasure of playing with 2 of the original Mercs of Mischief members. In fact, the only 2 original Mercs of Mischief character players left. and one of the original warlocks. So that's the next 2 Sundays. So pop in for that. But now that we're past that, I want to talk about something really interesting that nobody gets to see, because tomorrow is the first session for our viewers to get involved. We took 5 of them that have no or very little D&D experience. And over the course of the next 2 Wednesdays, they're going to be doing a session 0 with me, and then an adventure which is set in the Avalon Knights Keep. So they're going to get to have a little explore in D&D in our world. So I'm really looking forward to that. Tomorrow is the session 0, and then a week after that is the actual game. So like I said, it will not be streamed because we're not going to do that to brand new players, but I'm still looking forward to it a lot. And if anybody who is listening would like to get in on the next round, go over to the Discord and let me know. This is one of the things we're adding in over time. So I think that's everything. I think we can get back. So I'm not sure how you go down a rabbit hole to a boat, but we just did. So back down here. And just before the break, Lucius, I believe there's at least one more person you would like to talk to about a very important thing.
Actually, there's 2 in a sense, but I will make it quick.
Okay, yep.
But first, a little voice in his head, just like, says, it's like, oh, you're happy now, but skull could change. 50-50 chance you're going to survive this. It's like, then Lucius says, okay, would you cut the crap already? Enough's enough. I know who you are now. You're just me, all right? You're just scared, but we don't have to be anymore. We're surrounded by good people that are been with us every step of the way. So we're gonna do this one way or another. We're gonna get it done. And all that insecurity, that voice just fades away a little bit. I go up to, can I have a moment with the ladies? Just in private?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Few things. I know I've been avoiding this, like with the whole Grimm being in my head, so I need your help. I don't know if it's a combination or if you can teach me, but just to keep him out of my head, something. With your powers of, go through the mind and your ability to create shields, something.
Okay. I have an idea. Ellie, if you'll go with me on this.
Yeah.
And I'll reach my hand out to Ellie.
She takes it.
And I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to take her with me into Lucius's mind. But the way that Alice is gonna try to do it is because she knows she can jump into a mind. So she's gonna try to jump into Ellie's, and then from Ellie's jump into Lucius's mind.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
You explain that to Ellie before you try to invade her brain?
I just kind of give her a look. And it's just kind of like...
I guess it's my turn then, huh?
Maybe. I don't know if this is going to work. I've been wanting to try it, though.
Ellie's been in everybody's nightmares. Ellie, do you resist at all when you feel Alice coming in?
No.
Normally I do this, but you know the basic premise. You're in her view, your mind is a room. What does your room look like?
Oh
Where's
man,
she-
you're pulling this on me, Kevin.
I am. I only got like a day and a half left to get you guys. So what does the inside of Ellie's mind look like when it's expressed as a room?
Well, when you come in, the setup is basically like a saloon, and it's very, very open, and there's lots of daylight coming in, and it's very bright, and it's very warm, and it's almost got a sense of you can kind of see outside the windows. Even though the inside's bright, you can see it's dark outside, but right here you can sense that this is a hopeful, safe space.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
So kind of, I guess if that's what it's like,
All your memories and bottles and racks on the walls. Oh.
yeah. Alice will, she's gonna, I don't know, maybe I don't know if I can conjure it, like an empty bottle.
Yeah.
And she's gonna try to bottle the idea of Ellie's safe space and take it and Ellie to Lucius's mind.
Wow. You just made a very hard scene for me very easy. Thank you. You conjure that empty bottle and you just pull out the cork. And like light, like the light around Baptiste, like the light around Rebecca, but different. This is a different kind of pure white light. This is pure empathy. This is just liquid caring. It's just pouring into this jar and filling it up and filling it up. You have to force the cork in to stop it from overflowing. And it's just glowing in your hands.
Okay.
That's Ellie. So this is easy. And you jump into Lucius's mind. Lucius, do you resist?
No, and it looks a lot different inside. I'd say.
One moment, please. Because somebody is. Miss Alice, you use
Yep.
intelligence, right? Generally, give me an intelligence roll. What's
Cognition,
your-
I think, is what.
Cognition, yeah.
Yeah.
Whichever your good one is, yeah. In this form,
It's not great.
probably that. Okay. You try to step in and there's
I'm gonna.
resistance, but it's not him. So this I'm just giving you if you're going to burn a chip, this is
Yeah.
like you try to get in it, so you try again.
Can I help with that since it's going in my head?
Yes.
I'm going
Yes, you
to burn one of my chips from Luck of the Irish.
Sure. Let's break a bunch of rules. That's good. I like that. You try and help from the inside because you know he's in there listening.
And
So
I will give you a blue chip.
Okay, so that's a basically re-roll, right?
Yep.
What? I can never remember.
Leadership
Man.
is- Yep.
Okay,
Well, there's no point remembering now.
all right. So that time is a 26.
That's better. So you try and get in, and it's not Lucius that's resisting you. It's something else. There's, it's.
I like to think
What
that
makes-
that it's kind of like logically, she knows if she knows it's not Lucius. I imagine this bottle is like glowing bright with hope
Yes.
and love, and so
Yes.
she kind of like just slams through with
beacons
it, knowing that Lucius isn't. It's not Lucius. That's
Because as you tried to get through the wall inside, it's like it's full of black ooze, and it's disgusting. And you just, for the second, you couldn't bring yourself to touch it or be in it. It's that hideous. And then you just held out this beacon and it pushed it back. and you step into Lucius's mind, and this light pushes the darkness back, but not all the way to the walls.
Yeah.
But it gives a space for two of you to stand in the middle of the room.
So
Lucius,
Oh no, go ahead.
They step through the slime into the middle of Lucius's mind, but only the middle of the room is visible, so none of the walls. What is in the center? What is the center of Lucius's mental being? What is on that table in the middle?
Representing the core of who he is?
Yes. Not an undertaker, not a hero, not an adventurer, not a killer. None of those things.
In the middle is a mechanical lotus.
Wow. And as they step up, it opens. What's inside? What do you show the two people that you've just asked to save you?
Raised spider.
A scorpion?
Nope, a gray spider.
A gray spider. Okay. Hopefully nobody's arachnophobic.
Strange, small, misunderstood like Lucius, but a weaver of sorts, making webs and all sorts of things.
So inside the lotus is all full of this stunning web work. Looks like lace. And you guys are in his mind.
So is there like a physical representation of Ellie, like with me, like how I imagine that?
He's the jar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Ellie. But
I'm just like, this is cool, right? And I like show her the view. I'm just like,
you could perceive as though you were there, but your essence is just in this bubble. So.
And I'm like, so this is what I do.
You're in an empty 40-pounder bottle. What can I say? Of course, that's how this ended. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just, I just say, I mean, there's only one real way to do it. And thinking back, having a flashback of a time when I broke a perfume bottle to kill a man, I now come full circle and break a bottle on the ground to save one.
Ellie, I said you could see, like you were there. And that continues as she lifts this, and you look down, you see the ground, and you realize what she's going to do to you as she hurls you down towards the ground of Lucius's mind. And you watch it come up through the curved glass like a fisheye lens, giving you a whole view of the room. And you smash against Lucius's mind, and this dark force resists. What memory do you pull out to push it away? Of you and Lucius specifically?
Well, she is, when she sees that, it's kind of the feeling of, Alice was the one who pulled her in, and she's trying to save Lucius, and Lucius is the one who has to stop Grimm. And the word useless pops in her head, and she remembers when Lucius was saying he felt useless about Lily's death and about not being able to do that. And she remembers her own words that she said to him. And she just keeps thinking, you're not useless. You've made someone happy in their life, which means that you're not useless. And that's what she's going to hold on to. And she's going to touch the gift that he gave her.
Well, you got him, so you should probably take a legend chip for that.
Oh, Jesus.
You got me, I'd probably give you 2, but you're only allowed 1 at a time, so thank you. With that memory, you feel Lucius grab it. Like there's something else. This little spider in this lotus just reaches out and grabs that feeling, that memory, and starts to push with you. And all three of you, using your intelligence and your empathy and your newfound confidence, push and push. And the force that is Grimm is driven to the walls and through the walls and out and gone. You find yourselves in a strangely empty room. There's very little in here, except the memories of all of you. Lucius, you can breathe. He can't hear you. You can sense him. He's still in the book on your back, but he's no longer in your mind.
Once again, you guys, it's always you. You're always doing this for me. Alice, you're always unraveling that truth, and you called it from the beginning. Thank you.
And there's just
You're right.
somewhere on a wall in your mind, it just says, "I told you so."
I'm gonna embroider. With my mind, I just I frame it.
Yeah. And Ellie, you kind of reconstitute in whatever form you have inside of Lucius's mind.
Yeah.
And
She's gonna nudge Alice, just like, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And you, Ellie, you've always been the heart of this group, and you've always been this light that just touches everyone's heart and soul. I didn't believe I could love. I didn't believe I could be happy anymore. And you reassured me. Which is why I have to ask you a question, because I think I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life if I don't. And Lucius gets on one knee and says, Ellie, will you marry me?
Are you sure in your mind's the best place to do this?
Well, maybe not. Look, I don't know if you love me in that way or care about me in that way. It doesn't matter to me. Have my name, have my family. If anyone I would give it to, it would be you. I gladly give it all.
Are you saying this because you think you're going to die tomorrow?
Well, 50-50. But you will all survive. I promise you that. I didn't want to say anything because Grimm was thinking. He was in my mind, but I made a deal with him. So 50-50, I'm going to survive this, and 50-50, I don't. But if I survive, if I die, my everything that belongs to me, you can have it, and I know you will put it to good use. Travel the world, get an education, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. And if I survive, well, I'll be the luckiest man ever. And just a thought, just hypothetical. Wouldn't it be funny just to make Jet into the maid of honor, and and Alice, she could be the woman, best woman. Just saying. And hey, we have a father. But the choice is ultimately yours. I'm not tying you down.
I'm not going to become an instant widow. So you can survive tomorrow. And then we can talk.
All right. Just in case, I did write documents and a testament just in case. All of it's ready. Thank you for always being my friend. Thank you for everything you've ever done for me. And thank you for always believing in me.
You can pay me back by not dying.
I will certainly try for you.
Okay, you got 5 of these? That's a legend chip. Have one of those. Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Alice Emily at that point like made a wall and was just hiding behind a corner, just like I
just like no, I shouldn't be here.
I shouldn't be here, but if I leave, she goes with me. So
that was elegantly done on both parts. Thank you very much. That was really cool.
What the heck?
And with that, the two of
Alice, you can come out.
Yeah.
Alice just kind of like walks sheepishly around the corner, and she's like, okay, bye, and just
Wait.
And as she leaves, Ellie goes with her.
just hits the eject button.
Yeah. It's gone.
I go to Alice and I give her 2 documents, and it's like,
yeah, this is back in the real world now on the
yeah,
deck of the
like
ship. Yeah.
50-50 if I die. You give these to Ellie. Okay. One's if I die, one's if I survive.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Wow. And Alice just like, because nobody else knows what happened, so
Nope.
the 3 of them are just caught in this like, and Alice is like, I'm gonna. And she goes and she
you
like
can
tell
runs
him
up to
I'd-
Baptiste.
You
She's
can
like,
tell them.
I just got outdone.
had no
I just
idea.
got outdone in the let's make this weird category. Well done.
Parts.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like y'all come back to and I'm talking to Baptiste, and I'm like, she poured me a drink, and I said, liquor, I hardly know her. Oh, God.
You did that joke on Sunday.
I
You did
know.
That's that joke every Sunday.
I thought that-
That's a Sunday joke.
I know you can do better.
Oh,
I'm not disappointed in Jet. I'm disappointed in Skylar.
No.
Ooh. And that's Baptiste actually says that.
Baptiste is disappointed in
Baptiste
Skylar.
doesn't know who Skylar. I don't know who Skylar is, but I expected more.
And then there's just a fart.
Because Alice was really excited that this worked, and then things got
Yeah.
weird, and so now it's like,
Got
oh,
weird.
there's a price for going into people's inside their heads. You get to see stuff.
yeah.
Oh.
So
Wow, what a scene.
That
So
was-
yeah,
weird.
as awkward radiates off the front of the boat in waves.
I just wanted to. There's a box by Ellie with the ring, by the way. With just she has it, by the way. So
Is it in
Slipped it.
the documents, maybe? Or did you give this?
No, I
specifically
slipped.
to-
I slipped it in her pocket. See if she
Okay.
notices.
Okay.
I got a white hat out of nowhere. He gave her a box. That's fine.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
yeah, I just want to know where it is. So, yeah, and I want to know where. Yeah. So after that, is anybody else? There's got to be more stuff to do.
Alice proposes to Baptiste. No.
Well, if this all happened relatively soon after lunch and everybody's still around, I actually will take the moment to sort of just say, Ellie, Lucius, you're certainly welcome to stay. Nothing I have to say is a secret, but it is a little private between Jet, myself, and Miss Alice. So that being said, I don't know if you want to stick around or find something on the other side of the boat to look at. Give him a second.
You have no
Yeah.
idea. Baptiste
Yeah.
has no
Where
idea.
do- I need to know where do
have no
we
idea what
go?
I've just
no
done.
clue. Yeah.
Is
Yep.
is this like a hit like you should leave, or it's like I don't really
Oh
care
yeah.
either way?
This is a you should
Take
leave.
it how you
but
want.
There's 2 of you that he's asked to leave, and it's a fairly small boat.
Just
There's two sides
based
to
on
They
the-
don't make me.
just based on the question that Sam just asked, Ellie's just gonna kind of nod like okay and start leaving, and looks and
Yeah.
see Lucius is like, should I leave? And she's gonna like grab his coat and kind of like pull him to the
Yeah,
other
okay.
side of the boat.
Grab the tails. Oh shit! Here we go. Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh my
Bad
god,
kid.
are we both about to get proposed to by Baptiste?
At the same time.
I was like, no. No. I know that I sort of showed up out of nowhere, but I think both of you, to varying degrees, are aware that it was the badge that brought me to paradise. Search of something. I'm not.
Oh, and you can just call me Alice. You don't have to call me Paradise. It's fine.
I'm not always sure what it is that I'm looking for, but sometimes there are ways to figure it out fairly directly. I kill men for a living. You're both aware of that. And he takes a second to dig into his bag, and he pulls out 2, like a roll of paper, and he unrolls both of them, and they're blank, but they're probably really recognizable to Jet and maybe recognizable to Alice. They're the exact height and width of wanted posters, but they're blank. And he rolls them out flat, and he overlaps the bottom edge so they're touching. And he takes out his coin, the badge. And he holds it for a second and says, I want you to know the both of you have come to mean a very good deal to me. And I never meant to hurt either of you. And he sets the badge on the overlapping corner so it's touching both wanted posters. And the wanted posters, like a flame runs across them, and in the fire it burns all of the image and the lettering, the name at the top, the sketched picture of the person, wanted dead, $10,000 reward, a list of all of their crimes. And the left wanted poster, the name at the top is English Chester. And the name on the right wanted poster says Bad Bart. And you both recognize the men in the poster. And Baptiste just sits back and says, I didn't know you. I didn't know either of you when I took up these posters. But these bounties, they don't go unfulfilled. And I thought you should know. I don't know when, and I don't know if it'll be me. But I thought you should know. And he picks the coin up, and the posters go blank. Yeah.
Alice puts her hand on like where Chessie's, like the drawing of Chessie would have been on the poster. And she says, I may not have known about the connection to the badge with it, but I figured that there was something like this out about him. And then she talks about, I think Baptiste told her that story of the guy that got away, all that, yeah. And she says that was Chessie. And I realize now that because I think he said there was an orb or something that like kind of appeared around him, and that was how he got away. And she says, I didn't realize it then, but that was, I helped him with things I didn't know I could do. And that was the last time I ever saw him.
Well, in law enforcement, call it aiding and abetting, but I won't. And like, there's no mirth in his laugh. It's just he's trying.
Yep.
And Alice just kind of looks at Jet. And
What do they see when they look at Jet?
Real concerned. Just like upset and concerned, but there's like an underlying determination. And yeah, if y'all both turn to him, it's just like, she warned me about this. It ain't happened yet. But I think it will if I don't do something. So I sure as hell am going to do something.
For anybody that doesn't know, this is his little brother. For anybody in chat who wasn't caught up.
Yeah, he's still a kid. He ain't fully grown yet, but I haven't been home either, and Pa wasn't in a great place when I left, so maybe I need to stop by and figure that out first. You're one of the good ones, and I will just point at the sheriff's badge on my chest now. There are a lot of them out there who carry something like this, and a lot of them do it well, and they mean well, and a lot of them do it poorly and mean ill. And sometimes I thought you were somewhere in the middle. And I still don't know how I feel about some of your methods, but I do know that in the end, you're one of the good ones. So I'm glad to have ridden with you, at least for a little while.
Jet has just like a peacemaker, mechanically a standard sort of pistol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Baptiste will sort of turn to Miss Alice and says, I assume we might have something to talk about, but would you excuse me and Jet for a moment?
She kind of knowingly nods, and she gets up And as kind of a statement for later, or just kind of her way of being like, we're okay. She just gets up and she just gives him a kiss on the cheek. And then she walks elsewhere.
And Baptiste stands up and sort of like gestures for him to stand up with him.
And yeah, he'll get up.
I'll give you two things, if you don't mind. Neither one of them is a very good gift. Probably if I was a friend, I wouldn't give them to you. And he takes out his non-ghost steel peacemaker. And he draws it not in like drawing on you way. Like he takes it out of the holster and holds it by the barrel with the handle towards you and sort of glances at your gun.
And yeah, he'll pull it out and he'll weigh it in his hand. Because every gunslinger's got, their memories. But yeah, after looking for it with a second, he'll hand it over.
Yeah, he'll take your gun and put it in his holster. And in that moment where your hand is on the gun and his is on, and Baptiste is on it both, I hope it never comes down to you and I drawing on each other. But if it does, I don't know how much help it'll be. But my left eye winks just a little right before I draw. And he lets go of it. Second thing I want to give you. And he sort of fishes in it. He does two things at once. He's fishing in a pocket and he holds his left hand out like for your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you reach his hand out, he grabs you by the wrist real hard and pulls you in, and he shoves one of the silver coins against your forehead. Not his badge, one of the other ones.
Oh,
and
boy.
Anyone else on the boat hears him start speaking in Latin. I don't know what Jet hears.
I've never touched one of these before.
No, you haven't. And he's not letting you touch it. He's transferring the power. Ha! Marshal didn't think he was going to have to do anything tonight.
His chair's been like reclined for like 45 minutes.
Reclined in awe, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a hell of a night. Jet, you feel that coin touch your forehead. And for a moment, it burns. It is like it's trying to drive Raven, and you realize now Scorpion, both out of you and out of your mind. There's a flash on the inside of your eyes as this white light penetrates into you. And for a moment, it feels like it's going to work, like it's going to drive those beings completely out of you. But then there's a slight shift in the frequency of the light. And instead of destroying, it supports. It gives those other two structures a place to stand, a place to put their feet. Because as it turns out, even gods need faith if they're going to move mountains. I wasn't just sitting here staring at the screen, fuckers. You now have, you can feel it. there are 3 forces in you. Raven, it's just this mom vibe coming off of her. She tries to teach you. Scorpion is a completely different feel. It's very cold. It's almost mechanical. It is precision striking. And it is about death. And this 3rd one, something you haven't felt since the day of the tarot reading. Faith. Traditional, good old faith that you were raised up in. All those Sundays in church. All that Sunday school. All that sitting through all those endless sermons. Didn't make much sense then. But it makes sense now. You're stronger than you were a minute ago. Maybe more stable. And you sure as hell have a better chance of succeeding tomorrow than you did a minute ago. Back to you.
And he takes the coin off of your forehead and puts it in the palm of your hand. He's got you by the wrist. He puts it in the palm of your hand and like closes your hand over it. He says, Jed, all those times I talked to you about faith, I was never talking about religion. We trade in death. You have to do what you think in your heart is best. And sometimes you're going to be wrong. And you're going to get innocent people killed. Like that fat preacher you got killed with the Wendigo. Like you almost got Ellie killed. We make mistakes. Difference between us and everyone else. We learn from them, and we don't give up. We're monsters so that we can make a better world, even if we don't get to live in it. I'm very truly sorry to call you a brother. He pats you on the shoulder and walks away.
And yeah, he'll just stand there for a minute, weighing that coin in his hand.
It's heavy.
It's imprinted on my forehead, too.
So is that pistol. Because that pistol, I mean, the coin was a gift. It didn't feel like it, but it was. The pistol is the responsibility that goes along with that gift. So I want to do one more round the table here. As you look off into this distant mist, and you know what tomorrow brings, and you get ready to rest up, what are your thoughts? Let's start with Ellie.
She's been sitting just with her legs kind of dangling off the ship the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And she's flicking through the cards again, just kind of feeling them out. And she's just thinking about all the harm she's seen magic do and all the people that have sort of changed her mind about what magic can be. And she's just sort of thinking of what can I do to protect? Because she never wants to harm anybody using magic, but she's just thinking, how can I protect?
As you shuffle through that deck, every card that you turn up is another heart. Just another one, and another one, and another one. The only one that isn't in that deck is the Queen of Hearts, and that's because you gave that one to Jet. And you put your deck away and settle in for what might be your last ever night's rest. Alice?
Yeah, Alice actually, she needs to talk to Baptiste before
Okay.
she can,
Go.
can.
Yep.
Especially with what just happened.
Yep.
And so she goes and finds him. And I like to think that she sits down on that that weird makeshift mattress that she found on that island that she tied in the corner, and she just kind of sits down, and just waits for him to get over there.
Yeah, small boat, and he walks over.
And she says, so, a couple of things. After all this is over, if it gets over, unless anyone has any major objections, I would like to take the ship and fly to London. She says Mr. Comfort went there, and so I might like to visit him again. And it's where Chessie's from. I don't know that he's there, but if it is guaranteed, pretty much, even if it's years down the road, I would like to spend some time with my best friend before the inevitable happens. Which brings me to my last point about that, which is if you can keep an eye on that bounty, and if you hear any traces that someone has found him. This may sound odd, but I would prefer it be you. Because if I manage to find him and it's you, I'll need a friend. And then at the very least, if I never find him and it's you, I'll know that he was with a friend and with someone that has the right intentions in mind.
I'll keep an eye out as best as I can. I think if you're headed to London and, well, if I've understood you correctly, the best lead I have on my bounty is that he would be in London. I think that once this is all done, I might head towards Texas. I have a few things to handle there, and assuming he doesn't wind up dead or fallen under Grimm's spell. I think Lucius might come with me.
I've asked Ellie to come with me.
Oh, I think that might be good for her. The English countryside might suit her humors well.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if she does decide to tend bar, I'm sure they would love the accent.
If you wind up in London, I don't know if... All I've heard is rumors from a couple of months ago, but there's a man in London, part of the army like me, very fond of full moons, by the name of Mr. Ethan Chandler. Stay away from him.
And she pulls out her notebook of many things and writes it down.
I'm very honored to have known you, Miss Alice.
And she puts her hand on his, and she says, how unfortunate it is that everything truly good. And then she kind of winks at him. Has to come to an end. But if after this I don't see you again, I have no regrets. And then she leans in. She leans in and just kisses him.
Yeah.
And
I was just gonna leave it hanging there until something happened.
And she just kisses him, and then she kind of does that thing where she like puts his hand on his face and looks him in the eyes for a minute.
Yeah.
And she says, "Well, I guess the ship can't fly itself forever. Though I wonder if I could work on that. I wonder if I could make it fly itself forever. Anyway, it's not important.
Some sort of automatic pilot.
Yeah, some sort of
Yes.
something that would." And then she gets up, and she kind of lingers for a second in case he has something to say before she walks away, and then if not,
Yeah.
No. Cowboy
Nope.
fashion. Nothing to say.
Yeah. Speaking of cowboys, Jet,
Howdy.
as you're rolling out your bedroll on the deck, it all comes down to tomorrow. Or maybe tomorrow's not even important at all. You've got 3 entities in your head.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
First, for context,
Yep.
is there anywhere on this boat where you can go where you're not going to be around everybody else? Are there any compartmentalized areas? Because I don't want to keep y'all up all night.
What do you want to do?
I start to roll out my bedroll, and then I think about everything, and I remember those 3, and as soon as I roll it out, I roll it right back up, and I bind it back up, and I guess I'll try to headlight. Maybe if everybody it like moves into like a sleeping quarters, I'll move up toward the wheel, and you know, because do we just hover at night? Do we let it go? Either way, I'll say that I'll.
Yeah.
I'll let it stay, and I'll tell Alice. I'll be like, I'll keep an eye on the wheel, make sure it.
You
doesn't-
just tie it to the big rope. You're fine.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna stay up there, and I'm gonna dance the whole night through. I'm not gonna sleep, and while I dance, man, I ain't prayed in a long time, other than with somebody. So I guess as I dance, I'll just try to have a conversation with each of the little, not trying to do that right now, but just.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, just
Have-
trying to figure out where they fit, how these pieces are gonna dance together.
Yeah, talking to all of them, just individually going to them and figuring it out and seeing where they fit in me.
You don't get much from Scorpion. There's very little. There's no requirement there, but there's no powers coming from him either.
Mm-hmm.
From Raven, you're getting the standard those points, if you want to call them that you're swelling with the natural power of Raven. So you can take as many of those appeasement points as you're willing to dance for. That other one, though, you start to pray, and you remember the big ones come back first, right? The ones that they grind into you, those come back first. But you're dancing, so there's a forced rhythm to the way you're breathing from the way that you dance, and it turns these prayers into a cadence, almost like a beat, almost like they become the music that the dance is hanging on. So for the first time, you're dancing to music. You're not just dancing. And it doesn't bother anybody. It's like you're in your own little world. Yep, I saw a finger.
If I saw Jet go over there, she's gonna go up and she's almost gonna like kind of give him a look like, you good?
And yeah, there's if he's already started, or are you saying you did this before? Just so I know.
Just when she watched you, probably you've already started.
Then yeah, there's just a he's probably very focused, but he'll look over and he's still moving, but he'll just you'll be able to very clearly see that there's just a very knowing nod, mm-hmm. And as he continues, and I mean he'll keep his eyes on you in case you're trying to have a conversation, but he's continually moving.
No, she's just gonna say, probably shouldn't be alone tonight, and just like Baptiste did earlier, she's gonna join you.
You dance with him. And you can feel Raven join in. And you can feel Scorpion, even against his own intent, is that he's at least that guy sitting in the corner of the bar tapping his foot. He really doesn't want you to think that, but he is. And that only leaves one. Lucius. That's your family out there. That's your mom and your dad and your aunt. It's also the greatest evil you've ever experienced in your life, and you know it is because it's been in your head. And you've got this... What the hell are you going to do with a pistol against that? Even if it is a magic pistol, what are you, of all people, going to do against Father Grimm with that? All these people are counting on you.
Look at them all. I put the last few quotes in my manuscript of Lucius's fables. Put it in a folder. One other thing written for Alice that the Glory family from London. It is a letter from my uncle Lucas, the head of the family in the Glories. Just writing down to my uncle, please support Miss Alice and whatever she needs, and to Ellie as well. Maybe we'll see each other.
A letter of introduction into high society. Absolutely.
Yep. Treat them like family, as you always treated us like family, no matter what. I will miss our letters back and forth. I know it's been a long time, but you always took care of our family, even from afar. Thank you, dear uncle. Sincerely, Lucius Glory. Put that with the pile.
Yep.
And I look
Speaking
at
of that pile. You have done something for everyone. Multiple things for all of these people.
For myself.
Now here, on the eve of your potential destruction, what does Lucius do for himself?
The first thing I do, I talk to my little scorpion, as I call him, Eddie.
Yeah.
And I say, what do you think, Eddie? I know I say 50-50, but should we make it 75%?
He holds up one of his little claws and goes,
I look at the scythe, I look at the book, I look at the gun. What can we do to make this go be better? So that everyone can live. I want to improve the gun somehow to make me do better.
Okay. You draw the pistol. And you start to look at it. Start to think about it. And again, this is covered in a green toxic poison. There is poison dripping out of the end of it that burns tiny holes in whatever it touches. But it won't burn your hand. As you watch, it asks permission. Can I? And you feel it squirm in the palm of your hand.
If it can save the lives of my friends and all the people of Los Angeles, yes.
It might even save your life too. And you start to feel spikes growing out of the handle of that pistol into the palm of your hand and into your fingers as it wraps around your hand and becomes one with you. And you can feel that poison pulsing in your hand, just waiting to be released like the stinger of a scorpion. You hold your hand up. You couldn't put this thing down if you wanted to. It is melded to you, and that green is starting to creep up your arm in the form of little chitinous scales.
I actually don't mind this at all. Not at all.
And you lay down, and you're looking at it in the light of the stars, of the moon. And unless anybody has anything else, I think that is where we will drop the final curtain before the big battle, which is next week. So,
You know, I used to know a monkey who had an arm similar to that.
we both know that monkey, and hopefully we can get that monkey back for a guest appearance. So, wow, there were 3 rolls tonight, and one of those was a reroll. So yes, please hold up to Happy Bunny. Everybody, I think, could probably use a little bit of fuzzy goodness right at the moment. I always say this at the end of these, and I always mean it. But today, holy shit, thank you all. I'm thrashed. I don't know about the rest of you. And I will say it again, I am so lucky to have a table full of people with this much talent, this much confidence, to just say, here, dump your character's guts on the table. This is it. Show me who they really are. And then to be able to sit back and say maybe 10, 12 sentences in 3 hours, that's a dream. And I could not have asked for a better group of people to do this with. Thank you, Ryan, for playing Baptiste for us tonight. Thank you, Ellie, or Hannah, for playing Ellie. I get that wrong every damn time. Thank you, Sarah, for playing Alice. Thank you, Sky, for playing Jet. And thank you, Sam, for playing Lucius. You guys are amazing. Thank you to all of the people in chat. You guys were so into it tonight. I was watching it over there. That was an intense night, and you guys just went right with us. And yeah, Hallowed, epic episode. I couldn't agree with that anymore.
Thank you, Kevin, for just bringing us on this epic a journey, honestly. Thank you.
Well, we will wrap it up next week. And with that, I think all those thank yous are out of the way. Oh, one more. Thank you to Jonathan again for what was a challenging night. Technically, appreciate that very much. Marty, whoever you are at the moment, thank you. And with that, I think there's no question about it this time. I will shoot you next week. Good night.
Your body in two. But this isn't a song about owl bears, is it? It's a song about reincarnation. When I awoke, the druid said, "Son, the owl